Stone Cold Crows are in the creepy basement. How are you guys?
Doing good, man. You?
What's going down?
Doing fantastic.
I got to tell you, I feel like I'm severely underdressed for this program. What's going on, Stone Cold Crows? How have you guys been? How's everything going? Introduce yourselves.
All right. Well, my name's Mitch. I am the lead singer, lead guitar player, bassist at current moment, being the nature of the band. And I came down from Ottawa, so I'm having a great time so far.
All the way from Ottawa, the crow flies.
Straight. He flew straight from Ottawa.
He flies straight.
And I'm Bryson. I play drums and I do backup vocals. And we are Stone Cold Crows.
You are Stone Cold Crows. Now, the weirdest thing about Stone Cold Crows is you guys have never played live together, which is a very interesting thing and a dynamic for a band to have. So explain how you guys have made a band, you've made music, but you've never played live together.
All right. Well, I'll start this one. So it was weird. COVID hit, and Bryson and I have actually played live before, just in a band called Creekwater Junkies.
Okay.
10 years ago? And since then, we had talked maybe about getting another band back together. I went back to school, did some other stuff, and I was about to take another one of those fancy professional jobs, and COVID hit right between my job change. And so it was like, well, now I'm unemployed, and now there's this virus that's basically shut down the job market, and I need something to do with my time. And I thought, like, okay, well, I started writing music again. I sent Bryson a message about maybe getting on board. The band he had been with for, 6 years?
Almost 6 years, I think it was, yeah.
Had actually just called it a day, and the timing just kind of worked out. And so I started sending him these demos from Ottawa, just, over the magic of the internet. And
It is a magical place.
Let's do something with it. And originally we were going to be like a blues band. We talked about using a horn section. That was the only thing that we knew we wanted to do.
Was use a horn section.
Yeah, and a lot of his demos were like straight up like acoustic blues rock songs.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
But then us being us, we couldn't do that. We had to put distortion into it.
So explain your music. I mean, it's got a very industrial kind of vibe to it, if you think kind of like Nine Inch Nails-y kind of, but I mean, it's also very symphonic, where it's kind of like Metallica meets the symphony orchestra type of way, where you guys are adding all this stuff in, but it's not like you actually have timpani drum players. It's not like you actually have the horn section, so you guys are synthetically replicating that. How does that come about when it comes to making this type of music?
Yes, we are cheating.
Yeah.
In a way.
Well, my favorite band, one of them, because my favorites seem to like shuffle in this top 3 or 4, but one of them, Nightwish from Finland, they write this kind of music, but they're much more like classically trained.
Gotcha.
So it's got the symphony, it's got all that, but it follows kind of like the classical rules. And for me, I don't know how to read music at all. And
I was going to say, what are these classical rules?
My background,
there's so many, it's stupid.
My background is blues, but I know what I like to listen to. And then when working with Bryson, who is classically trained, I'll send him these demos and be like, ooh, I got this melody line here for this. And he's like, oh, well, that doesn't follow the rules, but I like the way it sounds. And then he'll be like, oh, what if we added this instrument to that? Because he's played in a symphony before or an orchestra. And it's like, yeah, all right. So it was kind of like organic in the way that it came about, but it came just as a fandom of the type of music that we like to listen to. Like, we both listen to everything from classical to jazz to heavy metal to whatever.
Bluegrass to even there's some rap. Like, we can appreciate it.
Everybody likes a little rap. I mean, come on.
Yep.
You got to be down with OPP. I mean, what are you doing, right? So I just wanted to ask, how are you classically trained? Like, how does that come about? Did you play in an orchestra when you were little?
Yeah.
Like, did you play in a high school band? Like, did you play all the instruments? Like, what's the deal?
So when I was young, I was put into piano. I think I started when I was 4. So since then, I was always around the Royal Conservatory of Music.
Okay, cool.
And
I mean, it sounds official.
It is very official.
Where is it?
They have like a station based out of Toronto, but it's like kind of all over the place, right?
Okay.
But yeah, so I got like up to grade 6 in my piano, and then I also got up to grade 8 in my percussion.
Okay, explain. Hang on, let's explain the grade. I gotta understand what constitutes, like, I can remember in like grade 1, I didn't share, right? So I was graded low on that. So how do you get to grade 8 when it comes to percussion? Explain how that comes about.
There's a lot of rudiments and technique you gotta know. instead of like on keyboard, you'd have a scale, but drums don't really have that. So different things like paradiddles and double paradiddles and flams and stuff. So
no, you lost me.
So
Anybody out there?
So
I don't know.
So paradiddle.
Paradiddle. I thought that was something you found on the internet.
I bet you if you Google it, you will.
You probably
you
can.
definitely will. So a paradiddle is just a sticking technique. So it's 1, 2, boom, boom.
That's it.
Yeah,
and that's grade 8.
Yeah, well, you get a lot faster though. So you
I gotcha. Gotcha.
So it's just they have a whole bunch of different techniques like that, where like sticking right, left, and you want your single strokes to be good and double strokes. So like makes it just sound different, and it's different techniques for different tempos and all that kind of stuff. And then you got to be able to be proficient in reading, and then there's theory on top of that.
So you can read music, you can write music, you could literally write those little dots, and you can make that make sense.
Thanks to piano, because like when you're learning piano, you have to know sheet music kind of if you're going to learn classical really. And because of that, I can read sheet music for any instrument and then figure out how to play that instrument. I may not be great, but I can figure it out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, and then when I was in high school, I joined a youth orchestra, the Loch Ness Youth Orchestra in Port Hope.
Okay.
And
what's a youth orchestra? Where do you practice? Where do you do
so
this? How many days a week? Like,
every Saturday, we were in a church in Port Hope, and we would rehearse, and then we would have performances, and then I've even played with the Toronto Philharmonic a couple times.
Wow.
Yeah.
What instrument did you play?
I play percussion, so I'd be doing snare drum, or I'd be playing on xylophone or timpani. Those are my favorite to do.
That's what I was just going to ask. What's your favorite? Because I used to love those big, huge drums, but then my music teacher
Roy Thompson,
would be like, get off those.
Yeah, when I played with the Toronto Philharmonic, I got to do a timpani solo, and it was really awesome because I used wooden mallets on the timpani, so it's like, play it loud.
Yeah.
So I just smashed the shit out of them, and
nice.
It was pretty awesome because it was like 1,500 people there. And,
wow.
Yeah.
Where was that?
Roy Thompson Hall in Toronto.
Nice. I was going to say, that's the big circle one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's trippy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it has like all those weird acoustics that are up in the air and everything like that, and like it makes it sound completely perfect for an orchestra and everything.
Yeah, it was so trippy.
Yeah, and what age did you do that at?
I did that probably when I think I was like 17 maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got to do it
not
twice.
doing that at 17. Let me tell you that. I was definitely not doing that at 17.
Yeah, I was definitely deep into music, and then after that I went to Wilfrid Laurier for a year studying music.
Wow.
So, yeah, and then after that I realized, I'd rather just rock.
Whoa, and what do you do for a living now?
I do music, and I work at Bulk Barn.
Bulk Barn.
Yeah.
All right, so all that really came in handy.
Yeah.
You can play it all though, man, and I really do love the music. I mean, it's really heavy, and it's really symphonic, and it's really cool. What do you think? Should we do a shot, come back, we'll talk about the tequila, and then we'll play another song?
Yeah, I mean...
All right, let's do that. Okay, boys, cheers to this.
Cheers.
Let's do a shot. We're going to hear a song by the Stone Cold Crows. What song do you guys want to play first? Anything off your YouTube channel where people can check it out?
Honestly, I think the best one to start with, and we could talk about this after you listen to it, is the first one we ever did, and it was the reason why the band took the sound it did, Before the Devil Knows We're Dead.
Before the Devil Knows We're Dead, this is the Stone Cold Crows. Cheers. We've put a bullet in our unborn children with the world we'll leave behind. Is there a penance for a whole generation, for a worldwide crime?
knows we're dead. Looking down the barrel of a genocide, and we're loading up the gun. No need to worry about the mess we're making now. Somebody else can clean it up. The vanity, insanity, humanity possessed by shadows in the mirror. Just to feed mouths of greed, we need it all, while mother sheds another tear. Sailors fluff the pillows on our deathbed. We'll go to sleep again soon. We'd be so lucky if we find ourselves in heaven. Before the devil knows we're dead. Fluff the pillows on our deathbed. We'll go to sleep again soon. We'd be so lucky if we find ourselves in heaven. Sailors, fluff the pillows on our deathbed. We'll go to sleep again soon. We'd be so lucky if we find ourselves in heaven. Before the devil knows we're dead. Before the devil knows we're dead. Oh, before the devil knows we're dead. Before the devil knows we're dead. Oh, before the devil knows.
We're back.
That was Before the Devil Knows We're Dead by the Stone Cold Crows. They have joined me here in the Creepy Basement. What do you guys think of the Creepy Basement?
It's creepy.
It's also a basement, and I like both of those things when combined.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's a nice, like, chill atmosphere. The blue lights are nice
Yeah.
and soothing.
You like the new blue lights?
I do.
I added more lights.
You know,
Yeah, I
you know,
noticed.
some people would say it's awfully creepy. I'd say it's awfully cozy.
It's not bad, right? You know who named it? Every single one of my ex-girlfriends, basically. Every
Okay.
girlfriend I've ever had, eventually they'd be like, where do you have the thing? I'd be like, I don't know, check the basement. And then they'd just come back horrified. It was just like, I'm never going down to that creepy basement ever again. And I was just like, when I started the podcast studio, and my buddy's like, what are you going to name it? I'm like, well, it is in a basement. That is which creepy. So my Creepy Basement podcast was born.
Sometimes a name just comes to you like that. You know?
Yeah. All right. So let's explain this delicious tequila that we just enjoyed. It's very good. Where did this come from?
Yeah, so I mean, nothing, no like official partnership or anything, but I had gone back to work after whatever lockdown number it was, 4, 5,
exactly.
17.
Who knows which
Whatever.
one we're on now?
And you know, like, so one of the things I decided to do working in the city, trying to gain, you know, exposure for our band, having not been able to play live and living in 2 different cities and all that stuff. It's like I printed off these business cards with a QR code scan on it, and I just hand them out to people who look like they might like rock music when I was serving them. Like, talk to your customer a bit.
Oh, so you're promoting your band while you're a mixologist.
On the clock, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay, where do you bartend at?
So I was working at a bar called the Barley Mow. I don't work there anymore.
Sorry, the Barley
switching
Mow it?
The Barley Mow.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way, I met these people and they're like, hey, well, turns out we own a tequila company, and they were actually on tour across North America at the time, promoting their tequila brand.
Ah.
And they were, a couple weeks later, I got an email, and they were like, hey, we're interested. We really like what you sound like. We like your image. We like what you're doing. We're a startup tequila company. We'd like to send you guys a couple of bottles if you're going to do a CD release show, whatever.
Ooh,
when you get playing live, like maybe we'll talk some more down the future. And
Hand me a bottle of, what's it called? What is this
This is
brand?
called Siempre, which means
Siempre,
forever, if I'm not mistaken.
If I remember high school Spanish, I don't
Which,
have
yeah.
enough light with the blue light, maybe.
This one might. Can you see that
Oh,
one?
no, hang on, there we go. I think we got it there, maybe. Siempre.
Yeah. So that
I mean, which one did we just
that
have?
was the Anejo. That goes for a little under $100 a bottle. This is the Blanco.
Okay.
They've got another Reposado.
What is the difference between
I mean, it's like
a Blanco and an Anejo?
it's usually the aging process is a little different. They'd age it in different barrels, a little longer, take on different flavors. Usually,
Now, were
it's-
you a tequila expert before you discovered these people and they hooked you up with all this
So
tequila?
I actually generally have, up until this point, hated tequila.
That is delicious tequila. I mean, I
is.
gotta say that
I'm
is-
not a tequila fan either.
That is not the Jose Cuervo.
No.
What did we just
No,
drink?
like-
Put some lemon in my mouth. Put some salt in it. Light it on fire. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
God.
know, like
It's smooth.
Yeah, it's really smooth. I really like it.
I've always been a whiskey guy, and but like quality tequila, it's like that's the only other type of liquor I think, like whiskey, that your price point really can shoot from. Here's your bottom of the rail crap, $30 a bottle to this is $300, $500, $1,000 a bottle because of the aging process. Like vodka, the best you can do really is filter it X amount of times. It tastes like nothing,
Right.
right? But tequila and whiskey are the same way. And if you get a good
Yeah,
bottle,
they're both aged in barrels, if I'm right, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, and it's just a different process of like filtration and aging. Aging's a lot, at least with whiskey. I'm not a tequila expert, but like I said, they said, okay, try it, and man, I'm a converted man.
I mean, I
I
like
will
that.
drink
I mean,
tequila.
I'm not a huge tequila guy. I mean, like I say, I'll drink anything as long as you put a little umbrella in it, which you did forget the umbrella. Not
No
gonna,
umbrellas.
I'm not going to fault you for it, but there's no umbrella in this.
No umbrellas needed.
Either way, I mean, it's high octane. I like it. What percent is it?
40.
40. Okay, that's just the usual, I guess. I don't know when it comes to
I'm
tequila.
guessing.
Most tequila tastes like straight gasoline to me, so I don't know. That doesn't taste like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really good, and
Yeah, it has flavors, smooth.
Yeah.
So
Good.
so you're just
Yeah.
helping them out. They just gave.
Well, like we're hoping down the road. Like we understand. Like they're a tequila company. We're a band that hasn't even played live yet. But again, they reached out to me after I had spoken with them, and down the road, you never know. Like I think both Bryson and I, like me being a bartender, I've also brewed beer for a long time.
Okay.
Like I know a
do
few
you work at a
things.
brewery or just do it at home?
I have done both.
Oh, okay. I once tried to do it at home, and we brewed like 22% beer. It was not good.
was gonna
Our first time out of the house, we moved to like Edmonton, Alberta, and we're like, "Hey, come on, let's brew this beer." And in like 3 months, we'll have some beer, and we screwed it all up, and we had like the most rank, like I don't know. It was worse than Old English. It was the worst beer you'd ever had, but.
You know, down the road, it'd be kind of cool to have a signature cocktail or a beer or something, because that is
I mean, Stone Cold Crow's Lager sounds fucking awesome. I mean,
it does sound awesome.
it sounds great.
damn right.
Yeah. All right. So that's the plan. You wanna add some liquor into your merch, right?
Liquor glasses at the
You
very
know
least.
what I just thought of? Isn't that a genius idea for a band to bring your own booze to the show to sell?
You just gotta get a liquor license.
I just
maybe.
didn't. Well, no, if you just gave it to the bar owner, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like rather than sell your merch, you just tell the entire crowd, hey, go up there and get some Stone Cold Crow's tequila. Right? And aren't you like tell the bartender to give you half or something like that? If
I'm
you-
sure we could, and
I'm sure you could definitely do. I've heard of comedians that do that with like
That's pretty
certain
cool.
brands and stuff like that. Like Ron White has his own tequila company. It's called Number One Tequila. So he brings that to the show and then tells the bartenders like, "Hey, everybody's going to drink this. My crowd all knows that I own this tequila company. While I'm on stage, I'm going to tell everybody order up some Number One Tequila, and you guys are going to make a lot of money." and that's how he kind of does it, right? So I mean, they make a lot of money rather than like court your merch around. At least you're not going to leave empty-handed at the end of the night, right? So,
It's options like partnership. My background outside of music is also sport and like sponsorship opportunities for bands. I mean,
right?
who knows? Get creative. Like,
Yeah, man. Wasn't Korn sponsored by Adidas?
Really?
I swear to God, Korn was sponsored by Adidas.
I could imagine Korn doing a set with tearaways on.
No, like, well, there was that. All of them wore Adidas, but then like Jonathan Davis had like his very own Adidas kilt made for him, if I'm not mistaken. I swear to God,
No
he did.
way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some like interesting sponsorships out there with musicians. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but there's been a few where I was just like, really?
Something just popped in my head. Can you play the bagpipes? If I gave you a bagpipe, could you play a bagpipe?
I have attempted to play I think it's called a cantor.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have the pipes attached to it,
But it is like the bag thing?
it's the cantor is like where you blow into and you like play some of the notes.
But don't you have to pump the bag?
Yeah,
with
you
your
gotta blow
shoulder?
up.
Okay.
But if you don't have the bag, you can just use play the cantor and almost it's kind of like a recorder, but
Yeah.
like more like an oboe.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
That's not
like,
the ear-piercing bagpipe sound.
Yeah, but it's really, really hard.
I assume it's really hard.
Really hard. And I can't even imagine having to like remember to like blow in it and do this at the same time while trying to blow through that, because like you have to have a strong like mouth to actually do like to actually blow on it. Like,
Oh yeah, it's insane, man.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to have some serious lung capacity. You got to have some great motor skills because you got to work that thing while you're pumping the bag and everything. I've only known 2 people in my life that could ever play the bagpipes, man. And it's got to be one of the hardest instruments. But there we go. I was wondering if the musical genius knew how to play. Where you're just like, well, I mean, if you give me anything, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I've never had the opportunity to play a full bagpipe.
Okay.
But,
I know.
Accordion?
accordion, I can dabble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to know.
I've only had chance to do it like once or twice. So
All right.
yeah.
The next time when you guys come back here to play live, I will have a bagpipe and an accordion.
It's a plethora of instruments.
Exactly.
There
I
you
will
go.
just be
Get-
like,
get a-
dance, monkey, dance.
Get
dance.
a didgeridoo. I'm telling you, get a didgeridoo.
I
think
can
any-
play them a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just can't.
I've
know
heard they're not hard to play because they only make a couple of notes.
you
And
just
apparently,
have to learn how to circular breathe.
Yeah, one
which
guy-
is really, really hard.
one guy told me that I'd be really good at it. He was just like, if you got a deep voice, it's really good
Yeah.
if you play in the didgeridoo.
Well,
so.
just the circular breathe, you have to have enough air in your cheeks still. So while you're breathing in through your nose, you're pushing the air out with your cheeks to keep this instrument playing, because you got buzz, like it's a buzz instrument.
Right.
So while you're doing that, you got to breathe in through your nose, but like it's so hard.
This is what a university
face.
musical education gets you right there.
Yeah.
All right.
You can
how to
teach.
make the blowing face.
You can teach, or you can try to get into an orchestra.
Or
Okay.
rock band.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's throw it to another song now. I mean, what song do you guys want to play next? I mean, these can all be found on YouTube. You guys can be found pretty much anywhere on the internet. You said Spotify, YouTube, Stone Cold Crows. Let's play another tune and then come back.
Let's just go in order of the ones we released. I mean, When the Thunder Comes probably should have been the single.
All right, When the Thunder Comes by the Stone Cold Crows. Excuse me, we're going to drink some more tequila.
It's raining on the rooftops, oh, can't you hear the drums? You didn't heed the warning, and now the thunder comes. So heavy is the air, you can feel it
Okay, we're back, and that was When the Thunder Comes by the Stone Cold Crows down here in my creepy basement. We've been talking music, we've been talking about these guys and the fact that they are still in the infancy of creating a band. They've created and they've written songs, and now they want to get out and play live, but they also need to get more musicians into their band. So we're going to get into that. We've talked about the tequila. We've been drinking the tequila. Bartender, did you pour me another shot?
I was gonna
Sure
say,
did.
All right.
You're gonna need one.
Huh? Oh, I gotta pour it?
I can't
You're
reach
the
that far.
bartender. Come on.
There we go.
All right, there we go. Bartender, pour me a shot. I thought you were a mixologist here. Thank you. It is a perfect shot, too. It looks like it.
It's on the top.
All right. Okay, Vistrovia, boys. Vistrovia.
I like that.
All right.
The Broja.
What was that kind?
So this is the Blanco.
That's the Blanco that we
yeah,
just did.
and your silver tequila there.
Okay. It's a little bit more harsh than the other stuff. The other stuff's a lot smoother. I
That's
think.
what you would make cocktails with.
That's what you make cocktails.
That one you would.
So I'm
sip
making a
on meat.
margarita with this?
You can make a margarita, Paloma.
Let me hold it
Take
up
them
here.
both there.
Let's put them up here where people can see them. Right next to my new Bad Holiday sticker.
Yeah, I saw those guys at Voodoo. They were awesome.
Yeah. So you guys played the Voodoo or no?
No,
You just
I just went to go and say hi because like
Oh, yeah.
everybody I knew was playing. Like,
Dude, like
One in the
everybody that
Chamber,
had played
Revive the
my
Rose.
basement. Yeah, they all
Drop
got
Top
on it.
was there.
Yeah.
Foolproof was there. So like I knew all these people from from playing with the Castor Troy's, my old band. So I was like, oh well, they're all in one place. They're like an hour away from where I live.
Yeah. I
might
heard
as
it was
well
a
go.
great. I heard it was a great time, man.
It was.
Everybody was telling me it's like in some guy's backyard, and he just kind
Yeah.
of puts it on. What's his name? Shout him out.
What's his name again? Joe.
Joe.
I'm pretty sure it's Joe.
Joe.
Oh, I hope I'm getting that right.
Let's
I can't
hope so,
remember. I had a
man.
lot of beers that night, so I hope I don't get it
It
wrong.
looked like a good
But
time.
I'm pretty sure his name was Joe, and it was a kick-ass time, and Voodoo was awesome. So everybody should check out Voodoo Rock
I'm
Fest.
going next year.
You
for
should.
Sure. I'm absolutely
Yeah,
going.
it
to
was
Voodoo
this on
next
his like he had a whole bunch of acres.
Yeah.
he built this awesome stage himself.
And he had
And-
great new independent bands that I
And
all
he-
know and love. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a whole bunch I didn't know, and I met them, and they're awesome dudes, like Bad Holiday
Yeah.
and a couple other guys, and they bring tribute acts in that are really, really good too. So yeah, go check out Voodoo Rock Fest. It was a really, really great time, and he will be running next summer as long as COVID's not a dick.
COVID's gone, man. All right,
Yeah.
we're
I think-
opening.
I think he'll be
everything
good
back
to go.
up. Doug Ford's opening everything back up. He's not out there going like, "My friends, I'm sorry." He's more like, "Hey, guess what? It's open. Gotta go.
Two more weeks. We'll flatten this curve.
We'll figure it out." Yeah, well, I don't know. I've heard fourth wave is leveling and all that stuff. So hopefully we're good to go and they relieve some of these restrictions and whatnot. But you guys are ready to play in the band, or ready to get the band together. Let's explain that. You guys are actually going to make a band, right?
Yeah, so the plan is, and it's been interesting having, again, not living in the same city, but like trying to plan out how are we going to release a single, how are we going to release an album when there's no fan base, we can't do live shows to promote it. But building the band, I think the plan is that we're going to go back to the studio, because I don't know if you noticed, but Original Sin is also called Original Sin Part 1.
Oh,
This is the first part of a trilogy.
okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the studio. The material's already been written.
This is the new album and everything, right?
So, yeah, part 2 has already been written.
which is all up on Spotify. That's what you guys were playing me before.
Spotify, Amazon,
Yeah, part
YouTube, wherever you want. Check it out. Full album is available. But, yeah, we're going to
So it's on YouTube, but there's no video. So is there just lyrics?
YouTube, we have 3 of the songs with lyric videos,
Okay.
but YouTube Music, you can listen to all the songs.
right.
Yeah, because they have a streaming service now too.
I forgot about
Yeah.
the YouTube new music thingy.
Yeah.
Like I need another streamer, but hey, why not? Man?
Well, yeah. So the plan is to get that recorded, but then, well, when we release that, hopefully, like if we recorded, let's say, end of the winter is the plan.
Okay.
Release a couple singles over the summer, but in that time, we're gonna start to build our live show.
Okay.
And to build a live show, you need a band. So we're gonna be looking for, at minimum, a couple of guitar players and a bass player.
Couple of guitar players and a bass player.
Like
now,
it's great that I play all that in the studio, and I've always been a guitar. I've never been a lead
hey
vocalist in a
man,
band.
Dave
ever.
Grohl made the whole first album himself, but eventually
Yep.
he had to get some guys to play all the instruments.
Yeah.
I'm sure if Dave Grohl could, he would go out there and try to play them all.
I can see a one-man band.
It just wouldn't work as well. But I mean, I could see Dave Grohl and Washboard Hank becoming the same guy.
Yeah.
But absolutely. Now, here's the thing though. And this is going to be an important thing for anybody that wants to join this band. Not only are you going to pour me another shot as I ask this question, thank you very much, bartender, but also, are they going to have to wear the suits? And why the suits?
Ooh. Well, I think they'll be wearing some kind of suit. They might not be in full suit, but they'll be definitely done up and they'll look good.
Okay.
And they're gonna have to be prepared because it's gonna be a hell of a show because we are planning quite the performance.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys are thinking some sort of theatrical type of, almost vaudevillian type of show when you put this on stage?
It's funny because the review that came out from the Spill magazine, and you've had Jared who wrote the review.
Okay.
The one in the Chamber's drummer.
Oh, I love
He wrote
Jared.
the review.
Yeah, another classically trained man. Yeah.
He dropped Alice Cooper references a few times.
Cheers, boys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Doesn't count if we don't clink them.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
And it's funny he should say that because Alice Cooper has been quietly one of the biggest influences of how we decided to build this band.
You want some insight on Alice Cooper? Have you heard about the Alice Cooper brewed beer?
No.
Okay, so for the first time in 500 years, Budweiser has changed their brewing for the one and only Alice Cooper.
No. way.
Interesting.
Okay, now what they did is they really didn't change the Budweiser brewing process. I probably shouldn't say 500. I think it's 100. Sorry.
Well, whatever it is.
Whatever. How old is Budweiser? It's Anheuser-Busch. It goes back forever. Who knows? But anyways, in whatever long it's been since Anheuser-Busch has changed their formula, Budweiser, they've never done it. But except for 500 cans of one vat of Budweiser beer where they placed speakers all around the vat and they played Alice Cooper music around this beer for the entire time while it was brewing. And they made 500 cans. It's only available in Detroit. And it's like Detroit Motor City music. And it was literally the only beer where they have infused it, or they said laced it with the music of
I
Alice
saw that,
Cooper.
and it reminds me of that.
That's cool.
What was it? The Metallica.
Yeah,
the whiskey.
Metallica, they claim, actually molecularly changes it, though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if you go in there, they're like, the music of Metallica and the Blackened label, that molecularly changes the structure of the alcohol particles here. I mean, it's so insane, but I mean, hey, whatever, man. Sell it the way you want to sell it.
You know
right?
what? I mean, Alice Cooper is like, before COVID, I'd seen him a couple of times, and I know he was like around and popular when my parents were.
Oh, absolutely. You want to know some
Kids.
radio facts about Alice Cooper? Because most of Alice Cooper, nobody in Detroit would record him or everything. But then Shep Gordon had a lot of ties to Canada. So he actually recorded the band in Canada with a Canadian producer. So a lot of Alice Cooper's first album counts as CanCon.
Oh,
No kidding.
Yeah, interesting radio fact I have.
Oh,
There you
man.
go. No
All
one
the
else.
dirty
That's where you
details
don't get
here.
the details, right? No other podcast. Okay, so we've talked about the suits. We've talked about everything else. We've talked about the new album. Do we need to talk more about the new album?
I mean, realistically, what can I say? It wasn't even supposed to be an album. The first time that we went into the studio, we'd never played these songs. We recorded the first two songs that we've played for you guys tonight, Before the Devil Knows We're Dead, When the Thunder Comes. Those were the only two songs we got recorded. We were supposed to record a few more, and then Doug Ford shut us down.
Shut it down.
And so then it was like, okay, but
no more fun.
we were supposed to
friends.
be a blues band. And then we scrapped 30 plus songs
Wow.
and then started to write again, and we started pulling things out from another band that Bryson and I we were going to start, which the next song we'll play was one of those songs, and this song was written over 7 years ago. And the band went from being a blues rock band with horns to a metal hard rock band with symphony, and now we're ready, we're rolling. And Before the Devil Knows We're Dead changed everything. So realistically, what you need to know about this album is it was recorded in two parts, which was also the second part. We were supposed to only record another couple songs, and then we went right back into lockdown again, and we said, you know what, screw it, let's just stay in the studio and do a couple more and get an album done.
Wow.
And that's what happened. So
That's what
it
happened.
was an accidental album.
Also, you guys were telling me some cool stuff. Where'd you record it? With who?
We recorded with Adam Newcomb. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Newcomb Studios, just outside of Coburg, and Harwood, Baltimore is technically the address, but Harwood.
And the other guy that was involved?
You're thinking of Avum.
Sorry.
That was
Got
Avum that
confused.
recorded with
Never
Jimmy.
mind. Sorry.
Bryson likes birds. He's in a
Yeah.
couple of bird bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you are also in Avon, and I love the birdseed. Trust
Thank
me,
you.
they eat it up. The squirrels get most of it.
Yeah,
but,
they usually do.
So you're in two bird-based bands, almost.
It
it's
just
not,
kind of happened that way.
but the lyrics of this have nothing to do with
No.
with birds or anything like
we
that.
just use crows as our imagery for this band.
And
but
it's very
Avum
cool.
is like full-on bird nerd,
It's
bird
a
punk.
very, very bird nerd.
Yeah.
Go back and watch the Avum episode. I love those guys, and they've got some really cool stuff. Very cool pictures on your Instagram of birds. I got to say
Thank you.
that. So
It's a task to try to find interesting facts every single day.
no doubt, and plus all those budgies and everything else,
Mm-hmm.
the pictures of whatever. What was he on the hunt for? What is Julian the one picture of the what he's got to get to be the most famous bird watcher in all of Port Hope?
Oh, he needs to get the painted bunting.
The
photo.
painting bunting, right?
Painted bunting.
Right, and he's angry at Doug Ford about what?
The double-crested cormorant.
The double-crested cormorant. Damn Doug Ford
know.
taking on
He's a
that damn
dick.
poor bird. Poor
He's a
bird.
dick.
Well, all right, Stone Cold Crows. Is there anything else that you guys want to say? We're gonna kick it over to your last video, and
Well, if we're gonna call it out, I mean, like realistically, check out the album. Stay tuned for what we got coming because we've got material written for another couple of albums. Realistically,
okay,
look for us to start doing live stuff next year.
all right.
But
we got some merch.
The last, yeah.
Oh, the merch. Plug
Yeah,
the
we got
merch.
some merch.
Don't forget
to plug
the merch.
Yeah,
Oh,
we got
man.
3 new designs that we just did for Halloween, actually. And
barkeep.
therefore, each of our songs, we got Ghost in a Bottle. Then we also have Beast Within.
Beast
Or
I Am.
Beast I Am.
Get the song title.
I know.
At least.
All this tequila, man.
Hey,
Yeah, and we also did one for The Last of Us, which is the last song that we're going to play for you guys today.
okay,
But
and
we
it's,
got-
it's really epic, right? It's a good long ballad.
it is.
What is it?
Seven.
Is it a ballad? Is it a?
it's an epic.
It's an epic.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want, we should show you some of the merch. And
Well,
you can
then,
grab
well,
it.
you can
Yeah.
like what do you just can we show it on the screen because
Yeah, okay.
we want to give you a T-shirt
Okay.
Yeah.
and obviously so something that I've talked a little bit on our website is people are like, oh man, I really like your music, can I get a shirt, can I, I'll give you the money and you just send one to me, and I'm like, it's all made print on demand right
Okay.
now because we're not playing live. For us to try and guess sizes and stock them,
And how much you're gonna need? Yeah. You don't want to do that. I mean, that's
like,
ridiculous.
trust me, we still
Yeah.
have stuff left over from our
Pre-quarter.
last band when it broke up.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but we, the world, again, the internet's a magical place. You find these companies that can make
Yeah, my sister works for one.
top-notch stuff. And we're like, okay, so I've had all the stuff sent to me before we would even post it for sale. And it is like the kind of stuff that you would buy at an Iron Maiden concert. It's very good quality. We hire quality artists. It's made to fit, so it's made for size. You pay the money. Taxes, at the moment, we're looking at maybe switching our T-shirt manufacturer just to try and make it cheaper for our Canadian fans.
Okay.
Turns out Canada's a pretty big country, and
Yeah.
shipping is not cheap.
No,
Shipping
not at
is
all.
brutal.
But
Unless you sell weed, apparently.
yeah, which is grown in Canada at least. So,
Exactly.
so you're
Exactly.
not
Made
shipping it across the border. But everything's made to order. The quality is really high, and we're doing everything we can to make sure that the price is fair, but the quality is high. We will not sacrifice lowering price for lowered quality. We won't do it.
There you go. Okay.
So pick one
So
of the
what do you
designs
got?
out.
You got how many shirts you got up there?
Right now we've got, well, if you count the logo, 4, but that will probably be faded out because we're going more the Iron Maiden route. Like if you're going to get a Stone Cold Crow shirt, it's going to be
Do you guys have an Eddie too?
badass as
Yeah.
fuck.
What?
Basically,
Pretty much.
Al.
The Crow.
His name's Al.
Oh.
Al Crowley.
Oh, Al Crowley. I like this. Okay. So I get to go on your website and I will record it while I do it.
You will pick which one. We will pay for it, and it will be sent to this location as soon as it is made.
Oh, all right. Well, this will all be included into this podcast. I will pick out my favorite shirt, and let's throw it to your last song, and let's cheers, boys.
This is The Last of Us.
The Last of Us here in my creepy basement with the Stone Cold Crows. Cheers, boys. Mistrovia.
Cheers.